So we are trying to make sure that everything is streaming in the right place because things have been weird lately. So give us a moment to see. Um, Hold on. These girl, these
Da,
people about to make me
da.
curse.
Oh,
Read,
turn
man.
us down on there.
Okay. All right. Are we on the link that we shared? Okay, it looks like we might be. It looks like we might be on that link. Hold on. Can you
In
check on your end
business.
too?
Yeah. All right. Oops.
We getting the tech things together, y'all. I remind us again that we are aunties
Yeah.
and trying to get it
Yeah.
figured out.
I'm
Okay,
in
it
there.
looks like it's the one from YouTube is working. That's in the okay. All right,
Oh, my
Geraldine
mom's in
Bernard is
there.
here.
Hey, mom.
Okay, woo. All right. I don't know what the special magic thing was that I had to press, but
You pressed
we
the
here
button. You
and we
pressed the
made
right
it.
one.
All right. Okay. So happy that means that the link that we sent out is working and the people are coming. So hey y'all, what's up? Please say hey in the
Amen.
comments.
Hallelujah.
And we are gonna get started officially.
Whoop, whoop.
Woot
Y'all need a little
woot.
shoulder shimmy to pretend there was a
Oh
theme
shit.
intro.
Wait, girl, I got my damn. Hold on, y'all. That was a false start. I got my doggone things. Okay, why it anyway? It had it on the Mac Mini speakers. It's weird things that I need to save. Where's my sage at? Okay, because what is going on?
It was
Gee
all the weed
whippers.
whacking energy.
Girl, okay, y'all. So before we came on, y'all know I'm living in the mountains, and the landscaper came today of all days. It was weed whacking the hell out of this grass, and it was weed whacking my brain to death. Okay, so it threw me off my routine and my schedule, what things were supposed to be like. So I'm trying to get myself together. Ugh. Okay, let's try that
You
again.
made
We made it. We here. Okay,
it. Hey.
there it is.
Hey.
We should like pose during that time. Vogue. All right, man. It feels like it's been so much longer than 2 weeks. Does it feel like that in your
Dude.
world too?
Well, so over here, time, I don't know, like flies. It's ridiculous. So it's like things are quick. So it does feel like it's been a long time, but at the
Uh-huh.
same time, it feels like it was like yesterday.
Really interesting. Yeah, for me, it feels like, man, it's been a long time. So I don't know how time is operating over here, but okay, let me go ahead on and get us kicked off so we can get into the things because y'all, we got a lot. A lot's going on. Okay. All
Ciao.
right. So from the top, hey y'all.
Hey, y'all. Oh,
Welcome to So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. We are two real life cousins, and we're here to talk about the stuff that we thought was normal in the world and in our families, and like we just finding out it was all dysfunctional. And
what is normal?
what is normal anymore? So, yeah, so we're on a mission to unpack all of that and share our stories, help others find their voices when it comes to healing and mental health and trying to make sense of everything that's going on. All right. For the record, today is June 22nd, 2025. All right. And I'm trying to be much more intentional about documenting things in
The
that
days.
way because I know
Ah,
I've been telling y'all we need to document stuff, huh?
facts.
How
Today's Eric's
long
birthday.
have I been
Facts.
saying? All right. So anyway, welcome. Welcome to the journey, journey of self-discovery, of laughter, a whole lot of I told you so's because I got a lot of them today. All right. So my name is Kimberland Tylin, House of O'Neill, Jackson, and Adams, empathetic energizer, intuitive, inspirational innovator, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless. I did
Amen.
my Blue Ivy adaptation because you know she be like,
She's so
so
cute. She's so
I love her
stinking
so much.
cute.
I am so proud of that
Since,
little girl.
since she was a baby. Like, you talk about being an auntie, like,
I am
eh.
so proud of her. Oh my
And then seeing
God.
little Rumi, you know, Rumi is like,
Have I seen it? Do you see that she been adding on to the choreography
oh,
though?
she said, hold on, watch this. Hold my
Let
hat.
me do this spin, girl. And like, okay, I got in trouble for throwing the hat. Let me just place it lightly.
Here you
Now,
go.
is Rumi in Paris? Because I haven't really been tapped in. She's in Paris too, huh?
I feel like
I don't feel like I've seen
I
any
feel like she
clips.
pops up on the timeline as still being
Same.
there. I think. I
Okay.
think. Don't give
I
me the
haven't
line,
seen any
but
clips,
possibly.
but honey, so
Oh yeah,
proud.
they
You
just
hear
went
me?
through.
I'm
Yes,
talking about, I just be like,
amazing. Uh, like that's it. That's it. And I love to see her signs and flowers that people have in the audience, and she's like,
it is the best.
it's so
It
cute.
is
It's so
the
cute.
best. The both of them. So yeah. So
Yes.
anyway.
Oh, hey y'all, I'm Kalonda of House Jackson. First of her name, assistant of entrepreneurs, beacon of banter, creator of content, dancer of dreams, excellence enchantress, and Nola native. So you know who we are now. And then while you're here, we have some expectations, not just of you, but of us. So first, what can you expect from us? Transparency. Look, we don't know it all. We done a lot.
Lived a
We're
lot
not
of life.
experts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of life experience between the both of us. We're not experts in everything, but we are experts in some things, several things, as a matter of fact. And the cool thing is, the things that we aren't experts in, we can put you in contact with the people that are, in fact, experts in those fields, because that's what we do. While you're here, what we want from you is to really just engage in this process with us. So, asking questions, engaging in the chat. There is an active live chat. So, feel free, pop down in there, talk to each other, talk to us. We're going to be in and out of there because obviously we're here now talking to you this way. We can multitask a little bit, but that's not what people are supposed to do. That's what computers are supposed to do. But anyway, um, yeah, talk to each other down there. Um, if something in here makes you laugh, because we are funny, we are a hoot, we do curse, side note. So govern yourselves accordingly around whoever you need to be careful around. But yeah, enjoy these moments. If we make you smile, if we make you snicker, if we make you clutch your pearls, I just ask that you subscribe, like, share this with someone, share it with somebody else, and then go watch another video. So those are the things that we are asking for of you when you're here. And then if you see us anywhere else in these internet streets, there are ways that you can send us love, like a little lighthouse of like, hey, I see you. And that's with our emojis. So if you see us in these streets, for me, my emojis are the little ladybug because they are just messages to me from the universe, right? They let you know that you're on the right path. It's a sign of good fortune and just telling you to keep focusing that you're going the right way. And the way I tell you, people in my circle now have been seeing ladybugs.
Have you
I
been seeing them
had
there?
I haven't seen any here.
Okay.
It's been mostly butterflies here, and then they have
Okay.
a lot of like graffiti of hummingbirds, so I see that, but I haven't seen
Okay.
any
The good
ladybugs.
old
But
hummingbird throwback. We hadn't seen the hummingbirds in a minute. That was a
have
hell of
you?
a
Do you see
time.
them out there?
No. And I also
Hmm.
haven't specifically looked. I've been seeing, I don't know what kind of bird it is. It's not an eagle, but there's
Oh,
some
those
kind of,
big soaring, like
yeah.
they, I don't know
It
what
was
they are
like a
either, but yeah,
whole circle of
bunch of
them,
them.
like the other
Yes.
day outside the window. So I was like, what this mean? Like, what does it?
It's like, what is this? Somebody
Okay,
tell
but
me
you
what this
said
is.
people have been having ladybugs. What happened?
Yes. So one person, one of my clients, like posted a ladybug in her space. And so I messaged her on the side and I was just like, just so you know, that means you're on the right path. Like, good job. And then maybe a day or two later, Xavier sent me a picture of a ladybug and was like, I see that you're watching over me or that you're thinking about me, something like that. So they were like, I just want to let you know I saw him. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I love
So
that.
if you see me out there somewhere, drop a ladybug in the comments, and I know that you came from so you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese. Another way to share your love is going to be a blue heart, because cobalt blue is my absolute favorite color. And specifically, like when you think of that blue, deep blue glass, it just feels warm and rich and like a hug. And I've truly committed to being loved and loving out loud and not having to try to figure out intentions around things. So that is where I am in this phase of my life. So if you see those two, that's a great way for you to show me love. Kim, how can they show you love out here?
So I'm over here getting love, like
Mm,
unexpected messages from people that I have been thinking about,
mm,
and people that I've helped to leave. So
mm.
somebody just checked in, and I was like, I was just thinking about you this morning. So I'm about to send you the link in a
Wow.
little bit and be like, just
Oh, awesome.
come in here because
Come
I
on in.
just this morning was like, all right, now I ain't checked in to see. Let me put that on my list of things and see how it's going
Yeah.
in her new home. So, yeah, all
Oh.
right. So, my emojis are the sunflower and the crayons. So, yellow is my favorite color. It makes me happy. It reminds me of the sun. It feels like joy and brightness. And I used to have these yellow glasses. And you know what? Side note, this is going to be episode also a side note. So, just be all right with that.
All of
Okay,
our episodes are
just
episodes of
strap
side
in.
notes. Just
But this one I feel like more than I don't.
more
It
tangential.
feels for me like it's been a while. So
We're going to
anyway,
catch up.
just want to give the disclaimer. But I've been on YouTube publicly. I release vlogs a year
Mm,
after it has happened.
right.
Right.
Correct.
So the vlogs and things that happen in real time are just on Patreon.
Right.
So the other day, I released a video about my Colombian booty when I first started working
Yes.
there, right?
Yes.
And I have my yellow glasses on, and I was like,
Mm.
oh my God, I miss my yellow glasses so much. But then it's also funny because I can tell who's in what spaces and like who's
Uh-huh.
actually paying attention by if they realize that that was a
That
whole
that's from
video. Right.
right.
But there were people that should know, like, you talk to me and you're
They're
like,
like, "Hey, girl, you're looking good." And
yeah,
you're
I
like,
see you working on your booty.
"I
And I'm
did,
like, thanks, but
but
also that was a year
I."
ago. Like, so it's really interesting. It's been really
Yeah.
interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's interesting. So anyway, so I said all that to say I used to have yellow glasses. That's how committed to yellow that I am. But they broke when I bust my chin wide open in Panama at the beginning of the year. So yeah, so anyway, sunflowers represent invisible disabilities, and as someone who now understands how neurodivergent I am, I feel like I've become this banner child for person for hey, just because everything look like it's all right don't mean it's all right. Okay, so
Mm-mm.
let's just be mindful of that. Okay.
Child.
So yeah, so that's the sunflower. And then the crayon, because there was a time in my life where everything felt like it was in black and white. And I made a
Mm.
conscious decision to insert color into my life. And that crayon represents me deciding I'm about to color the fuck out my life. Like, I'm going to give myself the experiences that I know that I deserve. I'm going to honor and pursue things that bring me joy and all of that. So those are our emojis. All right.
Have you
So,
seen this?
What's that? Oh yeah, that's Korean for I love you, right?
And the
Yes.
kids are doing this for hearts now. So if you had graduated from
Say,
this
bruh,
and
let me
this,
just say for a moment,
I'm just
dog. Say, bruh, for real, bro.
I'm gonna try to
Like,
keep y'all. I'm gonna try to keep y'all in the loop.
bruh, I did not realize how out of the loop auntie I was until I started. So there's this cute girl on TikTok. She does taekwondo.
Hmm.
And she's been showing up. She showed up one day. I don't be over there on TikTok like that for real. But when
Right.
I do, she's one of the people after, they got a good three swipes out of me, maybe, and then I'm out. You know? So anyway, she's learning Taekwondo and she's in her early 20s. So I'm gonna say
Okay.
maybe like 21, 22, or something like that. And so I go into the comments because I'm curious, like about how the young people is talking, because I'm hearing they got new languages, right?
Yes,
I'd
Cybo.
be so lost and confused up in them comments. I don't
Girl,
be knowing what is happening. So then ultimately somebody be like, hey, help
what
Auntie
is
out.
this? Right,
Cause
right.
Auntie don't know what's going on.
Like, what are
And
you
and
saying?
also I usually don't see it on TikTok. I don't see it till it gets to Instagram.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha,
You know?
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, it's before Facebook.
Girl, that's the next thought I had in my brain. Like, cause child, by the time it gets to Facebook, girl,
It's over.
you are
You'd have missed it.
behind.
You have
Which
missed
is
the
so
boat.
crazy how social media has become like these segregated worlds that
Yeah,
have collections of people from different walks of life. If if I don't think, especially like our parents' generation, I don't think they understand how out of touch they are.
yeah.
Because I
No,
definitely didn't
because I think they
understand.
think it's all happening at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the trend on Facebook. It's the trend. Period. Not realizing like you've missed Instagram, you've missed TikTok, you've missed Discord, you've missed Thread, like
Right.
all the different ways that this information, like people are interacting with the internet and each other. Like there's layers. Like I know I'm still behind and I'm on TikTok, Instagram early, but
Yes.
there's a
I
plethora of things that are
know.
happening outside of that. And I'm not in Snapchat at all. So Lord knows what's going on
And
over
you
there.
know what's so crazy? Because I used to be on Snapchat. And then
I
I
was there
got
for
off
like
of
10 minutes.
Snapchat. And I thought we was off of Snapchat. So then
I
I'm
thought
like,
I
did
didn't
y'all
realize
ever go
Snapchat
back
was the
over to the
thing.
Snapchat?
There, it's happening. Yeah, yeah. Because the
Child.
children like the things that disappear. They don't want stuff that's
Facts.
sticking
They don't want
around.
receipts.
Correct.
Uh-huh. Well,
Get in, get
that
out.
makes
It
a
never
lot of
happened.
sense.
It never happened. It's a paper trail. It's a paper trail on Facebook. Facebook's sending you the stuff back. Like I didn't want to relive it. Thank you. What
Girl,
are
these
we talking
memories, they've been interesting because a lot has been happening around this time.
about?
And I am just like I said, I got a whole lot of I told you so's because I'm like,
I said this.
I've been
I
telling
said
y'all.
this.
I've been telling y'all since 2020. Shit's real strange out here. Um, what we doing? It feels like we should be making some moves. It feels like some things, and the people was like, she's crazy, she's dramatic, she's doing the things, she just out there doing whatever. Nobody knows. Nobody was listening, and now
It's time to go. I told my mom the last night. I was like, "Well, good thing you came to visit. You look like you might be living in Lima now." Like, what's happening?
so um yeah, we glad y'all here or whatever.
Thanks,
We
guys.
got a new influx of followers, or
I
subscribers.
saw.
So shout out to all of our new subscribers. If you are new hanging out with us, please do leave us a comment. Introduce
Please.
yourself in the
Hey,
comments, okay?
who you
But we
are
are
and
up
where you
to
from? Sorry. Go
we
ahead.
are up to I didn't know where it was going. I was like,
I didn't know where it
really?
came from.
I didn't either. I made it up. Um, We are at 1,256 subscribers, y'all. So shout out to, and I do have like sound effects and things, but it be on a different screen, and then it's like I gotta find it. Remember how we had told y'all that we need producers and we need
We
people?
need people. We need
Okay,
people.
let me say that again. 1,256 subscribers. Okay. That is a huge accomplishment. All right. So we want y'all to like meet each other and hang out with each other and talk to each other in the comments. So, like Kalonda mentioned earlier, there is a live chat during the episode. In the live chat, y'all can talk to us, y'all can talk to each other. We'll be looking in there every so often as things are happening. It might even pull your comment here onto the screen. So you get to be a part of the show and co-create it with us. All right.
Amen for the
So we do have
co-creation.
an Ask an Auntie submission today. So I'm excited about that. If you are someone who has some type of dilemma that you're trying to figure out, feel free to send us a submission at tinyurl.com/ask an auntie. There you will be able to give us your situation, and then we'll tell you what we think about it and what it looks like, what it sounds like, whatever the things are, such and the souls. All right.
And you can be
And
completely
also,
anonymous.
and you can be anonymous. Thank you. Yes, you don't have to identify yourself. If you choose to be anonymous, though, give us like your stats, if you will. So like
Yes.
44, black,
Right. Some
um,
context.
yeah, woman, like, give us the things, all right, so that we'll kind of be able to have that little bit of context, but you don't have to identify yourself. And again, we'll have a submission today that you'll be able to listen to see how that works. All right, the last thing is, if you want to be a guest, to come on and yap it up with us, because that's basically what we're doing. This is called yapping. That's what they call it.
Yapping. That's the
Yeah,
thing. The
yeah.
yappers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
what we do though. Like we just, but
Yeah.
I don't. So, but also I have a question now, you, because I feel like you do be over there on the TikTok, so you might have more
Girl, my
information than me.
algorithm is wild. So go ahead.
So, but with the yapping thing, is
Yes.
yapping, is that a negative connotation, or does yapping just mean that you just talking?
So some people will be like, I don't want to hear no yapping. Like I
Uh
just
huh.
want to watch you dance kind of thing. So I think there's definitely a lane for the existence of it. The people that want to see people just chilling and talking and having a conversation, like they are there. And the people who are like, that's not why I got on TikTok, then you might pop into their algorithm and then pop out if they don't interact. So yap
Got
away.
it.
But
Okay.
I feel
All
like
right.
that's how it is with much of TikTok. Do your thing and you will find your people. And there's always going to be somebody
There's
on both
somebody that's
sides.
looking for the yapping. Well, I didn't want to align myself with the yap movement if we are not really actually
Uh,
yappers. I feel
right, right,
like I
right,
need to
right,
do
right.
more research.
Yeah, I
So
don't know
let
that
me.
I would have said that we're yappers, but we do
Okay.
yap. I mean,
What's the
but we
difference,
yap with
sis?
purpose. I
Okay.
mean, because like, you have these moments where you're like, okay, here's my things, but like it's not just yapping, like it's not just talking for talking's sake. Like
Okay.
there's a message and a purpose, it's not
Okay.
just, oh, I went to the grocery store and then I did this and like it's not, we
That's
have those
considered
moments, but
yapping
that's
too, though.
not this. Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on how
See,
you present it.
I got to get deeper into the yappage so that I can understand, because I want to make sure, for the algorithm's sake,
Of
that
course.
that we
Of
go into
course.
the
We
right
show up in the
category.
right spaces. Yes.
Correct. So if our niche is the purposeful yapping, then that's where we need to be,
Then
right? But
that's
if
what
it
we
ain't
be.
yapping at all, then I don't want to be aligned with the yap, even
Right.
if
She's
that,
like, don't have us show up there.
exactly. So anyway.
Oh,
What I was
love
finna
it.
say was, if you want to get on here and chop it up, let me just say that feels safer. Chop it up with us about some of the things that's happening. You can do that by emailing us at mindingmyblackassbusiness@gmail.com with the subject line, let me on there. And then you will be able to come on and hang out with us. But you do have to have syrup on your grilled cheese. You do have to taste it. It is
Yes.
mandatory. And I see we have a new subscriber here. I want to shout her out right quick, because it's Mishi. She said checking in from North Carolina. So
Hi.
welcome. But for some of y'all who might be new to the community and such, we got to let you know we do eat syrup on our grilled cheese. Okay.
Yes, I made some for
So
my mom already.
nice, very nice. So it is a thing, okay?
Yes.
And so you have to try it if you want to be a guest on the show. You have to have your taste test and give us an honest review. All right. All right. So, having said that, yeah, how you doing, sis? We going to war, ain't
You
it?
know,
Like,
so I'm hearing Aaron. So do you see Aaron in your
who
three swipes on TikTok?
who is Aaron, honey?
Okay, so it's
Corporate Aaron?
Aaron. No, 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 no. But I like Open Aaron. No, Aaron Parnas. I think is his last name. White guy.
Girl, I was
He's been.
all off. I was looking at a black woman in my head. Who?
I'm gonna have to share him with you because he's been
Okay.
giving the news since Trump, before Trump got elected. But
Okay.
like it obviously ramped up once he did because then all the bullshit ramped up. But is this younger guy, bless his sweet soul. Like he like commits to delivering the news, and some days he just looks exhausted because the news doesn't stop, kind of thing. But anyway, so a lot of people specifically look to him
Okay.
for news
For the
updates.
news.
So much
Okay.
so that they were trying, I forget what story he reported on, and they were trying to get him
Okay.
arrested for leaking secrets. And so there he was like, I got it from someone else. I got it from another news source. Like I didn't leak anything. So it was
Uh-huh.
just kind of like going to showing how far they're willing to go to
Oh, baby,
silence people. Where you're going to silence a TikToker because they're telling the truth.
yes.
But
Because
anyway,
there's
yes,
influence. Yes. Which is why they wanted to
ciao.
ban it in the first place. Yes.
In
Which
the
is
first, which
why.
they're never gonna do, which is why they also keep extending it time and time again.
Correct.
Which,
Correct.
side note, again, a reminder, CapCut and TikTok are owned by the same people.
Uh-huh.
So if TikTok goes dark, CapCut goes dark. But also at the same time, I heard there was an update to CapCut's terms and conditions. I can
Uh-huh.
talk. That said, essentially, if you're using CapCut, anything you use with them, even if you don't publish it, just creating it in there, they have lifetime use to it, ownership,
Mm.
all the things. So just keep an eye on your terms and conditions of things you're giving permission to, and just realizing what you're giving access to as well. And especially if things like that are in CapCut, then they're probably in TikTok. So
You know why I'm
just a little
laughing?
asterisk.
I'm remembering when we did the episode when we was talking about we had moved those 3 times. And I was
Girl,
like, you got to have your terms and conditions, bitch,
you
on
need a terms
routine.
and conditions.
Okay. So
Look,
the whole
look,
time you're talking, I'm like,
look.
I know Bianca is over
When
there.
when my
Losing
luggage was overweight trying to move from Medellin to Peru, she got right in them terms and conditions and she's like, hey, don't worry. The overage fee is only $35. I said, bet I am no longer stressed. Thank you so much. Because I never would have even thought. I would have been trying to like just okay, what I need to throw away. I guess I don't have no shoes no more. I don't know what this means. Like so
Why
yes.
are you so you be all or nothing like a mug, bro?
I mean, like, well, you said I can't have it. All right, take it out. Because it's either here or at the freaking counter. Because the problem was when I then got to the counter, they wouldn't let me take my blanket. And I'm like, I'm taking this blanket. So what am I? What am I about to
That
donate
is
to this
funny.
airport at this moment? But anyway,
Because
go
this
ahead,
is coming.
girl.
Yeah, but read the terms and conditions. It's a lot that's getting dicey right now. And so having said that, the question back to it. How
Yes,
do you feel like your spirit is feeling right now? And I don't know that I have taken a walk through my spirit. So I do want
I
us
was.
to kind of be intentional, but and maybe talk through it. But like how do you feel like your spirit is feeling right now?
I think one is still processing a lot of it because it is so early, and that's
Mm,
also kind of the weird place to be. Where I think before in times past we wouldn't have necessarily been as the public able to see these things as they're happening in real time. You know,
Right.
like we
Uh-huh.
normally would get like the package. Hey,
Uh-huh.
just so y'all know, there was a strike in Iran on these bases, and as a result of that, we are going to war, right? Like it would be a very much end of the week kind of wrap up thing, not oh, holy shit, they just blew up these three nuclear spots. Oh, and we get to see Iran say, oh, you started it, we gonna finish it. Oh, and we're probably gonna close the strait. Like we're seeing it all, and it's coming in like that, which I think um, for people, especially in a society that has a lot more people that identify with having anxiety and what that does, and having the access to all of that information, you do have to kind of protect yourself against that. So tips to you guys: consume as it's healthy for you, like because it's gonna come at you so quick. Um, so all that to say,
Which
I
is a
don't think I've
tactic, by people
yeah,
because
it's
it
very
keeps you
intentional.
dysregulated. So
Exactly.
is what on Frolic
Dysregulated
and
and
Truth
distracted from so many other things
from
that are
other
also
things.
happening.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So on the Frolic and Truth, we had, if y'all not over there, so the Frolic and Truth airs on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Okay. But one of the episodes we talked about brain research because I'm gonna take it. Let's talk about what's
Yeah,
happening.
let's go
But
see.
when our nervous system continues to be dysregulated, we are not able to break out of survival mode. We are
Exactly.
stuck in the loop of asking ourselves, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Right? And you're not able to move beyond that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a tactic of governments to cause people to be in survival mode so that all you can do is feed the system. So you're in a
Mm-hmm.
situation where you have to go to work so that you're able to survive. You go to work, it's toxic, it's all of that. You come home, you go to sleep, and you do it again. And that is just the things.
Yeah.
And then if you're someone who is unemployed, then that rat race is like so wild and crazy and like all of that. But it's all a tactic
Yeah.
of the
A hundred
system.
percent.
Yeah,
A hundred
sorry.
percent.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. No problem. Uh, so yeah, so I don't know that I've 100% like sat down and like processed it. It's just very odd because being out of the states, seeing this happen, and then go, okay, what does that mean? So then I'm like, all right, let me start assessing where I am and what the thoughts and feelings towards America is, because that can have an impact. And then okay, where do I need to go next if I can't go home? Like you
Right.
start putting these contingency plans in place of like, okay, what are the things I need to do? So I think I'm at the very, very early stages of that. Um, and then, because I was really only halfway joking with my mom when I said that last night, because I'm like, we're listening I don't know what I was about to call him, but Trump giving this address last night,
Oh,
and
the email.
it was nothing.
Cause
It
why
was,
do all of this pomp and circumstance and
how
they
do
put damn
you how
food
do you
to be
bomb a
standing in the
place?
background? Like,
How do you bomb a place and then say you need to choose
and now
peace?
there needs to be peace. What? You definitely
What
just
planet?
escalated. I'm finna go off. Like what?
Wild, wild to me. Um, so yeah, I was only halfway joking when I'm like, all right, well, sounds like you moved. Like, I guess you live here now. But I mean, the only like, I guess calming slash saving grace is to think, okay, Iran can't actually reach United States soil with weapons, but they can very much
I'm curious why
damage.
you believe that.
Well, I mean, so what we've been told, I'll say that, is that the munitions that they have aren't able to actually hit America. Not to say, but my concern is two things. My concern is they're still able to reach different military bases that have our citizens in it. They're still able to antagonize our allies, which can then flip those relationships, and potentially those people can reach American soil. You still have Americans in these places that can be impacted, and you have Americans everywhere that, this doesn't really breed safety for people because it tends to say, oh, you're an American, you actually agree with this sentiment. And it's like, hold on. First and foremost, no, I don't. I can't speak for anybody else. I can just tell you the things that 92% of black women that were Americans said, no, no, thank you. 80% of black men said, hey, no, no, thank you. So, like, when we're saying everybody, that's not everybody. Like, that's not it. But it's such a personal and impassioned thing that, like, no one cares about that. They just see you're an American. And it's like, that umbrella is really big, you know? So it's like, am I in fear of Iran specifically doing something in America? No. But are there people in America that could do something because they have that feeling of like, hey, this is wrong and this shouldn't be happening? And we want you to feel the hurt that you've inflicted on other people that are already on our soil? Yes, I believe that 100%. I mean, they already had people that were in, what was it, New York, already demonstrating in the train stations, and it was peaceful. I mean, you know, peaceful as a demonstration can be, but I mean, it was a peaceful demonstration. But how long before that turns? Because there are also still stupid Americans that won't let it stay peaceful. So it's like, I feel like it's a matter of time before something happens,
Mm.
and it's going to set off another chain of events.
Yeah. I agree with you in the still processing. I think it is definitely a lot to process, especially because we were not around during World War II.
Hmm.
So we are very disconnected, I think, from the consequences that things like this can have on
Yeah.
the states. I cannot say that I've done any research regarding the stretch of Iran's capacity to be able to do anything on the U.S. mainland. What I will say is what I believe is that everything is in the realm of possibilities.
Oh yeah.
And whatever that looks like and sounds like, whatever conglomeration of what needs to happen. And I think that it is not, I think it is in our best interest to treat it as if it is happening on US soil
Hmm.
because the US is not untouchable. And I think that that is the story that has been told. You know, even when you were like, yeah, their weapons can't reach, and I was like, why do we believe that? Because
Hmm.
I feel like I've heard that, but why do we think that is
Hmm.
what is? Because that's what they told us. Oh, well, we know that it is. So,
Well,
but
I
the
also look
other
at the
thing,
time where we've like actively made enemies out of both of our neighboring countries. Like, like
yeah.
literally, we're pissing off Canada and Mexico. Like, how hard is it
Yeah,
for them
but
to
the
say,
stakes
"Oh,
have to be raised. And that's the thing is like, I really, for me, it feels like I am watching a reality show. And I've, you know, talked about
mm,
this a few times. I've referenced WandaVision
mm-hmm,
several times. Like, this is a reality show. And we have to raise the stakes because it's a new season and we need to get renewed. So let's go, let's get it at the sacrifice of the people. Um, so I feel like I'm seeing that. And I feel
mm-hmm,
like, so the research that I was wanting to do this morning is how I was like, based on the comparison between World War II and now,
mm-hmm."
um, I want to think about, you might know this because you like history. So you might have some of these
We gonna see.
answers,
All
but
right,
I don't,
let's
it's
see.
not a quiz though. I'm just saying
I'm
you
like,
might,
oh Lord, let me
you
put my
might have
brain on.
things. I'm just saying get your history brain person in the room because they might have
Right,
something to
right,
contribute. All right. But
right.
so like I had mentioned World War II earlier, just because
Mm,
I feel like that is the time that I learned about Emania. I didn't keep a whole lot of history in my brain, okay? But the time that I learned about where the country changed to support war.
mm-hmm,
And with many of the things that have been happening with immigration and the things that are happening in housing, the slashing of all sorts of supports and Department of Education, like all these things, you know, of course, I immediately go to education. And what I know
Right.
during that time is that the schools turned into little military factories. So they were just
Right.
raising people up to go into the
Pipelines.
military. Correct.
Right.
That's the word I was looking for, pipeline. So I can see that that has been happening. The
Oh yeah.
framework for that has been getting laid for a while now, which is what
Hmm.
I be talking about when I say I've been talking about this for a long time. Because this has been happening for a while. The other thing is that this has been happening over both parties'
Yeah.
administrations. So I
Hmm.
think that's important too. And I know that might be unpopular opinion. Okay, fine. But Kamala Harris also had a very strong allegiance of saying that she was going to align herself with Israel. And
Correct.
this is Israel's war that they wanted to have. So
Correct.
I don't necessarily know that the people, like, had she been in office, that this would not
Hmm.
be happening, because
Right.
Israel is the ones who are saying
Who's
they the puppet
driving it?
masters, if you will.
Yeah.
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 So,
I just think that the approach would have probably been different. But even
oh, I'm
then,
sure, but
you know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know
But
how
I don't know
different.
that the result, I don't know how
Right.
different the result would have been.
It might have been more covert. And the reason I say that is because it reminds me of the racism, the brand of racism that we had in the South, in New
Hmm.
Orleans, David Duke in the Klan
Right.
walking down the street and like all of that, versus the brand of racism that I experienced in Pennsylvania that's wrapped up in
Right.
niceties. And we gonna
Yeah.
pretend that we doing something, but we ain't really doing shit. But we
Right.
still causing harm. We're just causing harm in a different way. That's what it
Right.
feels like to me.
Yeah. No subtleties of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, so in thinking about all of that, I was asking myself, like, how has the country used, because this is beneficial to the US, because US
Excuse me.
is weapons and
Hmm.
guns, and like that's how the US makes a lot of money. Where
Hmm.
in the past it used to be agriculture, but that is not the case anymore. So if the US is able to hinge, lin- what's the word,
Linchpin.
connect
Hmm.
themselves, hitch, what
Yeah.
is the word, hitch
Hitch.
themselves onto this war, then out of that the US gets money, because people are going to need to arm themselves in war, and the US are the
Hmm.
ones who manufacture the weapons.
Hmm.
So I'm curious as to what your thoughts are about what you can see based on what we've seen in the past and what we're seeing now with how this is going to impact people in the US in different industries or anything like that.
I mean, we've just looking at how history has said, like, not even said, just what we've seen in history as far as going when these countries go to war and what the impacts are and the changes, just even in like family dynamics and what that looks like. I think it's going to be very different because when there was war, World War II, it wasn't like women were serving in war. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
typically it
Mhm.
was the men went to war, and then women kind of stepped up into more manufacturing
Mhm.
roles because the men had vacated those, right? But now we're going to see the involvement of both. And so the question
Mhm.
for me, especially when we're kind of abdicating any responsibility into education, what happens to the kids in the
Mhm.
future? And we've
Mhm.
had so many, like I look at the millennials and like they've been listing like all the unprecedented things that have happened in
Girl,
their
we
lifetimes,
tied.
and I look at and I go, what happens to those kids? Because we've seen them, and for the millennials, they've essentially had like all of this opportunity, all of this access, and they still had kind of their boomer grandparents. So there was still people around to insulate them, quote unquote, for, against these things. But these kids coming up, I don't know that they have that same level of protection because the schools have kind of been taken away in that regard of like how they can impact it, and it's intentionally removing the like support systems of even just where people can talk to the fact that there is a difference in
Mm-hmm.
your upbringing and your education because of where you are and where you're living and what the socioeconomic impacts are on that. Like just taking away that language just takes away that experience. So I
Right.
don't know what that looks like for these kids coming up in this, because if you're removing their mothers and their fathers and you're still not giving them, or the teachers that are educating them, the ability to truly see them and speak to their existence, like I just feel like we're setting it up to have this generation of kids that just, they are in this pipeline. Like you're just
Correct.
already being made to
Correct.
be a worker, a soldier, like not a thinker. You're not supposed to be
Not a
critically thinking,
thinker.
not using your mind, not thinking to work for yourself. Like that's what I feel the biggest
And
impact
you
is.
right. Yep.
And so that part is very, very scary. Because the children are our future, like it's not just a Whitney Houston song.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's literal. And when you
Mm-hmm.
see, even just if you're looking at like the protests, and you see these parents out here with their kids protesting the things that are happening in Israel, or protesting the immigration policies. Um, then you see the flip side of the parents that are out there hurling slurs and go back home with their kids in the back seat. Like these are the messages that are being taught to the children, and that's what's going to be perpetuated because they're not seeing anything to the contrary. So
Correct.
yes, war, obviously terrible, awful things. I just look at like what is this doing to our kids when we
Mm-hmm.
we see what's been happening to these generations outside of war, and then you add that on top of it, it just is really disheartening. I don't know. It's really disheartening. And
It's
I
still
don't know
processing,
that
yeah.
weaponry. Yeah, and I don't know that weaponry for the United States, because this part I'm not 100% sure of. This is one of the things I am not an expert in. So if someone in the comments is, please feel free to drop down. Um, I don't know how much we actually like manufacture and generate weapons for other countries, because I thought we actually got our weapons from other places. But so I don't know that that necessarily puts us in any kind of position to get additional money. Um, I know specifically with Iran, like they process a lot, or I cannot think of the name of this strait. It's like Strait of Hor, I want to say Horus or Hormuz, something like that. Um, Processes like 20 to 25% of the world's oil, like goes
Mm-hmm.
through this strait. And the first thing they said was they're contemplating shutting it down. And
Mm-hmm.
so that would be increase in oil, which we've already, the cost of oil, which we've seen before, when we had issues in the Middle East. And it's just like we're already having a hard time. People are already not able to pay for their lives, to
Mm-hmm.
sustain their existence. And this administration has stripped the things that would have helped them in those times where it is difficult to do that. So then you go and add another layer of, now gas is going to skyrocket. What does that look like? So it's just,
It's
it's very interesting
multifaceted.
watching it. Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
interesting watching it outside. It would be very interesting to see how people are feeling in the States,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of have a feeling, and this is an assumption, that people are still really removed and don't really see the implications that are kind of on the wall of what could be happening very soon to what their lives are going to be like, because we haven't really had to live it, and so there
Right.
isn't that call to like, what are you going to do if there's an issue with the power grid? Like
Mm-hmm.
if the power
Mm-hmm.
goes out, what is the plan? And have you been brushing up on your skills on how to live
How
off
you
the
going
grid?
to
Like,
sustain yourself? Sustainability. Where you
correct.
getting your food
Right.
from? Like all of those things.
Yeah.
Y'all know all them things I've been yapping about over there on the front like a Jew. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But also to your point, for those who may not, who may feel removed from it, or that's one of the reasons why I asked the question. But also the other thing is they're removed because they're in survival mode. So all
Correct.
they can do
Correct.
is go to work and go home and go
Right.
to work
Like I
and go
just need to
home.
pay these
So
bills
you
still
don't
here.
have, correct, you don't have the ability to zoom out and see
Right.
all the different ways and all the dots that need to be connected, because it is a very multifaceted
Yeah.
and multi-layered situation that is going to impact every industry. I
Yeah.
did look it up. So Lockheed Martin
Mhm.
is the global aerospace defense security and advanced technologies company that is headquartered in Maryland. So the U.S. Is definitely in
Ouch.
line to have profit from war because
Oh yeah, I know
of
it. Yeah.
the actual arms, because of making the
Gotcha.
arms. Um, but the other thing I was gonna say was, you had said earlier, and I think it's important for us to remind ourselves of this, is that you can only consume to the capacity that you have, right?
Mhm.
So I strongly urge you to disconnect and unplug. And I'm not the person to be like, go be with somebody in person, because a lot of my life exists online. So
Mhm.
that's not what I mean. What I mean is to disengage from
Excuse me.
spaces that
Mhm.
are propaganda driven, and spaces that are like very high anxiety inducing, and like spaces that make it feel like the world is collapsing. Because while we are talking about this, and I think it is important for us to talk about it, I also want to highlight that the resistance for many of us is to make sure that we are calming our nervous system so that
Correct.
we can help people to strategize. People that are stuck in survival mode and not able to access their part of that part of their brains. Those of us who are outside of the system and able to calm ourselves and
Right.
stabilize ourselves so that we can think clearly and we can
Facts.
guide and we can help people to understand what the steps are. So this past week on the Frolicking Truth, I was talking about, I challenge everybody to have some type of garden, whether it's a windowsill garden, a balcony garden, a patio
Mhm.
garden, a slab of concrete garden. Get you some containers that you got the
Yeah.
salsa and all of that stuff in. When you're done with that, put some water in it and start you a propagation garden. Take you that
Yeah.
green onion tip and let it grow roots so that you can show yourself that you
You
are
can do it.
able to
Yeah.
sustain yourself, right? Stuff like that is resistance. And
Yeah.
though it may not seem like you're doing a lot, you are doing a lot, because those are the types of skills that society divorced us from. Like when I
Correct.
hear, for instance, when you be talking about all the things that Nanny used to grow. Nanny is our grandma, y'all.
Yeah.
That all the things that she used to grow.
Mhm.
And I don't really remember none of that. So it's
Mm.
like those skills weren't handed down to us to say, for to even make the connection. My grandmother is a farmer and she
Right.
knows
Right.
agriculture, and this is
Right.
how, if I'm in a situation that I need to sustain myself, I can
I
grow
can
some
pull
collard
on
greens,
these.
I can
Correct.
grow some
I can grow some corn
tomatoes,
and tomatoes and
correct,
right.
correct.
Right.
And I don't have to go back through the system to be able to supply this. I could do this for myself.
Right.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's kind of been on my mind. So I'm curious too as to what you have been doing, because I know a lot has been going on over there in your world. What you have
Yeah.
been doing to sustain yourself and the bringing of joy into your world, and like honoring your mama is there, and like you're still figuring out Peru, and like what has that looked like for you in those spaces?
Yeah. Right now it's been very light. The one getting used to the weather, that was a thing.
I saw y'all had
Um,
real look like jackets on in that picture that you
yes.
sent.
Yeah, because it's not just cool, it's very wet. And
Ooh,
it's like misty a lot of
ooh,
days. I shouldn't say a lot,
interesting.
a few days. It's
Okay.
like, because it's not just, it's humid here. Yes, it's always humid, but Then there's some days where it's just more wet than others, and it's not necessarily a rain. It's just misty. It's wet air. It's heavy wet air.
Interesting.
Um, so yeah, so you definitely
So
have
now
like
compare it
layers.
to Seattle. Would you say, I don't know what your
Oh, I've
experience
never
was
been
like
to
in
Seattle,
okay.
so but I hear it's very rainy and dark. So
Same.
yes, that
Same.
sounds
Okay.
sounds like what I would imagine.
Okay.
Um, I've likened it to like mm, I almost want to say like a November in New Orleans, like it's cool. It's
Mhm.
not really cold, but
Mhm.
it's cooler. And because
Mhm.
it's humid where we are, like that cold goes through to your bones. Like it's a
Mhm.
different cold. So I think I like kind of liken it to that. So just getting
Interesting.
used to that, figuring out what to wear and how to not look crazy as you're moving about, but also not buying a bunch of stuff. Because where it's gonna go. And then um just kind of finding my people. Like, okay, who do I want to hang out with? So I found a jazz club. So like Bianca and I went. We went with this girl that we met, Cheyenne, that I'd gone to this brunch with before. Went to a jazz club. It was really cool. Like this lady and like her band, and you just sit there, enjoy the music,
Was
have
it
some cute
Peruvian?
drinks. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're like using Google Translate to hear like the part that they're talking about in between the songs because it's like, okay, I caught one word here, something
Right.
about a horse. Like there was a witch and a horse. Like I know that part happened. Very interesting. So being able to like hear those kind of things. Yesterday we did the free walking tour, which was awesome. It was the same guy that I did when I saw back in when I came
Mhm.
back in February. But he took us to some different areas and into this beautiful church. Um, and it was really just cool to see it through their eyes, but then also to experience it again.
Mhm.
And just see the different architecture. I got my churros again. And then we happened to like walk upon this Cultura Fest where it was like different countries and their music and their folk music and then like their actual costumes. So they were dancing through the square
Oh,
and
that's nice.
just
I love a
walked up
good
on that. You
cultural
know,
display. Oh, I be all
it
in it,
was
honey. I be so
so
such a
cool.
tourist. I be
It
like,
was
this is
so
nice.
cool. And they're just like waving at you. And you're like, oh yay. So like that was really nice. Um, Eating my way across Peru as best I can. The food here is so good. Um, I've gotten 8 tattoos since I've been here.
Are you
Um,
serious? Kalonda?
my because my mom got one too, so it's not just me. My mom got
Oh
one
Lord, you done
yesterday,
got her addicted,
day before
child.
yesterday,
And this is
and
her
so she
second
tells
one.
this is her second one,
Look, and we
and
talking
so
on her business. My bad.
I'm sorry. Sorry, man. Spoiler alert, everybody. My bad. Um, see, this lady I know. Too late. Too late. Um, but then she was like, she tells the artist, "Can you cut her off at some
Cut you
point?"
off.
Yes. Well, because I wanted what okay, so in my head, what I
Hmm.
wanted was like a body wrap, like a body suit kind of thing, like where they have the whole connected pieces and all the things. But then I was like, well, I don't necessarily want like the blacked out, like complete bodysuit, whatever. So I was like, maybe just something ornamental and kind of dainty and cute,
Right.
sweet. Um, but that it was gonna be like my shoulders. I've been wanting to get this might be too much. Put earphones in, give yourself time, blah 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 blah. Hopefully you're sad. Okay, I got my nipples my like around my areola tattooed
Okay.
too, and I've been wanting that for a long, long time.
You did it?
Yeah,
It hurt?
not really. Like a lot less than I thought it would be. I
Oh
don't know if I
my.
can show that on YouTube, but
Definitely not. We'll put that on the OnlyFans. No.
subscribe to our Patreon and
We'll drop a picture.
you'll drop a picture in there.
Oh, your mama said
But
she
no,
thinking about getting a third, girl.
yeah, she ready. She said
Yes,
maybe not while she's
indeed.
here, but she's ready. And I told her, I'm like, they're addictive because you'll do it. And you're like, oh, that's cute. And then you're like, oh, well, what else would I put? And then if enough time has passed, you've forgotten how much it hurt. So then if you really don't have anything stopping you from doing it, and then while you're getting it, it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to hurt. So it just kind of gives you more reason to do it again.
Lord, I
Um,
don't know if I could get my breast assist now.
They were,
Lord,
it was like that actually hurt the least.
really?
Now, the least out of everything I got done, that was like the least painful. I got
Okay.
these done the same day I got this done. Like, I
Now
was like, oh, okay.
I haven't seen your
Um,
new ink, so I don't know. Oh, that's pretty, Kalonda. What is it at the
So
top by the shoulder?
it's like a little fan.
Now, is this the style of the thin line that you have been talking about? Is this considered that?
So it's not
So you got it
technically
on both sides. That's
fine line.
cute.
Yeah, so it's like a little that. So these two, then these two. Then I have something going around my belly button, and then I have some leg. I don't know if I stand up if you're gonna see it. On my up on my.
You about to be like, hold on, y'all.
I'm like a tattoo tour.
This would make for a great piece of content.
You know what I'm saying? And I have the videos. That all you know. That's the thing. I have it. I just gotta put it together, y'all. It's there though. It's because y'all be wanting freaking captions, and I don't have time. I don't want to do that.
But you
Um,
know what you could do is you can sign you up for a Riverside account, a
but then
free
you
one.
still have to go through it and like
Through
make sure
what?
it's right to make sure they heard it right.
How long that take for you to look at? Because
I
you could
don't
look
want
at
to
the
do that.
transcript and read it. You
Yeah,
read
but sometimes
faster
that'd
than
be
you listen.
wrong.
Okay, then you correct it or
I
don't.
know that's the part I don't want to do.
Then don't.
I don't.
You gave
Yes,
it your
I
best
did.
shot, and you put a disclaimer at the beginning. Be like, listen, okay,
I did my best.
I'm a auntie, and I need an
That's what they
editor.
heard.
And
That's what
somebody
they
to
heard.
so
Okay.
be all right. That's the AI doing the
Oh
captions.
my god.
Okay. Now, if it's bothering you that much, send go
Hit me
to
up
tinyurl.com.
and apply as an intern and say I want to do this for you because you can't get your life together.
Otherwise, hush now and just listen good and read it through the lines, okay? And if
Yes,
you can't
indeed.
listen, we understand because we're not here to shame folks that are not
We're
able to
not
hear.
shaming anybody.
But also know that some of this gonna be wrong. So if you're reading and you're like, that was AI. Okay,
Like,
so
is
blame it
that
on
what
that.
she
That's
said?
it. That's what you do.
But anyway, so yes, so what I did scrub because I was supposed to also get something on my stomach and then like across my stomach and my hips. So I
Girl, you done
didn't do
found your
that.
artist, huh? Are you been
Oh,
having all of these
I
locked
love
up in
her.
your spirit for a
She
while, or
is
what's going on?
amazing. Well, so I didn't know specifically what I wanted. I just knew I wanted, a body wrap. I wanted a body wrap tattoo. And I was like, I don't know. So I sent her some pictures and was like, I like this style, I like this feeling, but completely open to your interpretation. Like, I trust you, even though I
Mm-hmm.
don't know you, but like,
Mm-hmm.
sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, anyway, uh, my life experience.
I feel like we
So
had an episode about that. But go ahead.
I think so. So it is very much like side note to the side note to the side note. Like when I go get my haircut, like I
Uh-huh.
literally take my Pinterest board and I go to my Pinterest board and I'm like, here, pick one. Whatever moves your spirit, whatever
Have
you
at it.
feel you can do. I like them all. That's why it's on my board. Just pick the
Mm-hmm.
one. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so she came up with some designs and I'm like, I just want them to be cohesive, like, whatever the ornaments you decide on, then we're just gonna find different ways to implement them.
Mm-hmm.
But she was amazing. I love her. Her name is Meow at Lima Espacio Salon here in Lima, Peru.
Nice.
Amazing, like sweetest spirit. Um, she was just the coolest person. She made it all so easy, and her touch is really light. So like
Mm-hmm.
at one point she did a tattoo, and I was like, "Did you use numbing cream?" And she's like, "No."
Mm.
Like that was how light her touch was, and I'm like, Oh, okay, awesome. Not
Nice.
to mention that there was like, she got me lunch every day. It was like shared her
Really?
protein shake with me. Like
Oh.
it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. She took care of my mom when my mom came. So like, then they sat me up because I was working. So they gave me a little desk to work
Hmm.
at, so I could work while my
That's what
mom was
I'm
getting
talking about, baby. That's
it
that
was really cute. And then she
personalized
like
service.
painted this like one of her own personal designs. She painted it for me and gave it to me as a gift when I finished. So it
Oh,
was just it's been an awesome experience. Like the services here have been amazing. Like Bianca went and got her locks retwisted. Had a phenomenal experience with the guy. He's like posting it all over TikTok. They look like they
oh,
had a grand
nice.
old time. It's just people have been so sweet, so just awesome. So yeah, that's what a lot of my time has been right now is just kind of exploring and finding the people, you know.
Mm-hmm. Building your community
Yeah,
and your
and
team. Yeah.
that's really been it, and just trying to like get the language and being proud of myself. Like, oh, I can say the big numbers, you know.
You,
Everything's not just the individual like 1 through 10 digits. It's
so
like,
have you
oh
gotten to the hundreds? Because that's what,
no.
okay, so you're
Mm-mm.
on like 10, 20, 30, 40, the
86. You
10s.
know, I be
Got you.
excited when I can say that, when
Well,
I'm giving
yeah,
my Uber my code. You know, it's not
correct.
like ocho seis. It's ocho meses. Like, ah! And then I'll be surprised when I get it right, and I'm like,
I love that.
yay! So yeah, so like that's been cool. And then actually, someone reached out to me that was in Medellin that said that they're gonna be in Lima like next weekend. So they were like, "Oh,
Nice.
I just wanted to see if you were still here, if you were still there, and like I'm trying to figure out what my next spot is." And they're like, "I'm so glad to know that you're gonna be there. We can hopefully connect." So I'm looking forward to that. Um, so
Xavier
yeah,
said
just
they looking at flights to come and get a
yeah,
tattoo with you.
come on down or over, come on.
Come on in.
Down and over. Come see me.
I love
Um,
that.
so yeah, so that's what I've been up to, you know, showing my mom around, watching her
So how has
rest and
that
sit
been? How has
down.
it been for you to see through your mom's eyes her experiencing this new life that you're creating?
It's very interesting because it's not some of the experiences we've had where people are just completely like, oh, they don't take the dollar. Like, what do you mean? But some of the stuff of like, well, why don't they have this? You know, Americans are coming here, we're spending money kind of thing. And it's like, you're not in America though. Like, you came to their place, so they're going to cook it their way kind of thing. So seeing her like get that and understand it. But it's been really cool watching her like interacting with technology so she can understand and kind of
Yeah.
navigate herself. So like
Yeah.
getting into let me translate, like, okay, how do I switch this back so that like if they talk I can hear it, you know. So
Mhm.
even at the
Mhm.
parade,
Y'all
she
went to
was
a
like
parade?
well, at the
Oh,
cultural
the festival
festival
thing.
was kind of
Okay.
done as like a parade kind of
Got you.
thing. So
Uh-huh.
she put the translate on so Google could hear what they were saying as they were announcing it because she wanted to understand. So
Yeah.
like seeing stuff like that is really cool. Um, Having her like navigate the all the flight situations because she was on like two different airlines because we did two tickets for the cost,
Mhm.
whatever. So having to like get her bags and check in and go through immigration and all that stuff. And like I hope it truly like builds confidence for her that she could do this on her
Absolutely.
own trip, you know, of like you can come visit me wherever, that's not a problem. But like I hope it sparks something in her to be like, oh, I want to go to this other place on
Yeah.
my own and
Yeah.
know that there's ways I can do that
Yeah.
without going, oh, I don't know everything about this place. I
Mhm.
can't go until I'm an expert. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, as you know,
You can
be
go and figure
safe,
it
you
out.
know,
Mhm.
you'll figure it out. You'll see the things, like find the people, ask the questions, and you know, so that part has been really exciting for me. So I'm super happy to see that for her. Like that brings my heart joy. So that's been really nice. And then like watching her try different foods and like stuff that she wouldn't have necessarily done before. So
I love that. That is so
yes.
awesome. I'm glad y'all have been having the opportunity to just take it all in and
Hmm.
um allow yourself to be immersed in it. Like
Yeah.
the frolicking part of the journey is so much fun because you
Yeah.
really do get to see things with different eyes.
Hmm.
And just there's so much that you can learn, even
Yeah.
though a lot of it is stuff that is normal. Like
Right. Right.
people
Right.
wake
Right.
up, they go to work, they drive a
Yeah.
car, like they take the
Is
bus,
it? Oh,
they go
girl,
home. Like,
the Uber
there's
experience
there's
was
there's a
hard.
lot of it that is very normal. But then for me, it
Yes.
becomes so interesting to see the cultural nuance in the
Mm.
things, so it makes for interesting conversation, like about the things that we do the same, and the access that we have. Again, growing up in the US, we're taught a lot about countries is that other countries are just not developed, they just living in
And
huts,
it's so
and
not true.
just don't nobody have
There
nothing,
are rooftop brunches, drinks that come in bird cages where they set the rosemary on fire for you. It's like, girl,
yeah.
you get all the things. I think all three of us, we went to lunch yesterday, and it was probably $30. And I still have food in the refrigerator. Like, I don't understand how these people are so small. Like, everything comes with rice and French fries.
Mm,
Rice and French fries.
interesting.
Like, what is going on? How are we
Interesting.
doing?
And you know what's so
So yeah,
funny? Because here in Colombia, everything comes with soup, salad, and patacones.
girl.
So it's that. Like, it's something
It's
that, so their thing is rice and fries, because
yes,
each country has found a way to be able to sustain, and each
yes,
country has a
yes.
different way that they use food to be able to do
Right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Is that
been
like,
it's
is that
been
kind of studies and stuff? What is that called? Is that sociology?
sociology is part of it and anthropology, possibly.
Okay. Okay. I can see
Possibly.
that, the historical part of it
Yeah.
too. Okay. Interesting.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
yay.
Yeah, so it's been fun. It's been a very, very, very good time.
Have you seen I think I asked this last time about Afro Peruvians. Have you run into
So
any,
I
or is it more
haven't,
indigenous?
but Bianca did.
Okay.
Bianca's loctician.
Mhm.
So he would probably be more of a link to the Afro Peruvian kind of lifestyle, family culture. And like he has a Black Lives Matter tattoo,
Oh, okay.
like very, yeah. And then one of the young ladies that I met at the brunch, her partner is Peruvian. They're not black, but is Peruvian. So would
Mhm.
at least be able to kind of, I guess be able to give you more of an insight into Peruvian culture. But there is an a big Afro Peruvian population, I guess, in the southern portion of Peru. It's always in the south.
Let me
Um,
see. Let me try to pull up a map, because the whole time we
yeah,
sitting here talking, I'm thinking to myself, I don't really know that I know where Peru is.
Peru is. Yeah, so it's like Peru, what then Chile,
So you're
Peru,
south
Bolivia,
of
Chile.
here.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, let me share this screen so y'all, so we could educate ourselves for a second.
Everybody see where I am.
Yeah.
This is Peru on the map.
Because I was
I feel like
asking
we need that.
myself what body of water that it's next to. And then that led me
Isn't
to
it?
asking myself what was actually happening.
I
Let
have
me
had
see.
lomo saltado. Lomo saltado is really good. It's like steak with vegetables, French fries, and rice. Um, but it's delicious in this gravy or this sauce.
Uh-huh.
So good, and they mix it with a bunch of different dishes because there's a lot of Cantonese food or Chinese food, but they call it chaufa here. It's very much a part of the Peruvian cuisine because when
Nice.
they abolished slaves, then the Chinese came to replace that workforce, kind of like in the States.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so their cuisine just kind of fused with Peruvian cuisine. So you find a lot of fried rice, like
Uh-huh. I
the
feel like
chicken,
Chef
the spring
Ratatouille was
rolls.
saying that
Hmm.
the last time that you were talking about the food and stuff, because there's
Yeah.
also a big Chinese influence in Panama. And I
Ah,
didn't know that, but the
I
same,
didn't know that
well, that
either.
was linked to the Panama Canal and the building of the Panama Canal,
Right.
but also like how people wind up, how populations wind up in different countries. So Kalonda
Hmm.
is in Lima, y'all. And
Yes.
let me see, is this the best map that we got here? Hold on, y'all.
Long
Let's
as it don't say Gulf of America, we good.
girl. I'm so sick of that damn man. When I tell you I'm so sick of that damn man. Okay, so Kalonda is here, and you can see my mouse on the
Yes,
screen or no?
I
Yeah.
sure can.
Okay, so Kalonda is here in Lima. So what body of water is this? This is the South Pacific Ocean. So the Pacific Ocean. Okay. And
Yes,
then, so let me zoom back in. All right, come on over here. So this is Kalonda. And then I'm up here in Medellin.
yes.
So Medellin, as you can see, don't have no water by it. But
No water.
Colombia is on the Pacific Ocean, and then there are parts that are on the Caribbean Sea. So
Correct.
that's what things are looking like right
That's where
now,
we at.
as far as where we situated and such and so. All right.
There it
Nice.
is.
Very nice. Very nice.
Look
I'm
out.
excited. Well,
It's
yes.
been a good time.
So here in my world, there's been a
Yes.
lot of peace and quiet. Amen.
I love it.
Um,
Amen. Hallelujah.
I have I have been figuring out how autistic I am. Is honestly
Mm.
what has been happening. What?
Side note. So I used to always think when people would talk about ADHD and autism and being on the spectrums of all of them, um, I didn't think I had the part of it where you don't have the spatial awareness.
Okay.
Well,
Really?
when you get when
Really? Go ahead.
I didn't think. Now I do know I do wander when I walk, so I definitely do the wander, like the veer. I do that. I will bump into you while we're walking next to each other if you're racing with me while I'm speed walking. But I never thought of like the I bump into walls or I like cut the corner really close on the table or something like that. Like I never really perceived that for myself. These tattoos have told me
Oh, how
otherwise.
many times that you
I
bumping into
hit the
something?
wall so many times. I was
Dang.
like, oh, ow. And I mean like scrub it. Like
Wow.
I was like, I didn't realize that I did have that part. So now I am very aware.
Yeah.
Very aware that is a thing. So
Wow.
sorry, but when you said
No
that, that
worries.
made me remember
No
that part that
worries.
I just.
I did want to
Okay.
do another disclaimer that if you are watching us live right now, there is a live chat that you're able to talk to us in. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you look for the box where it might say comments and then it says live chat, if you click the live chat button, come on in here and say hey.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it's been I've been figuring out how autistic I am, and it's been it's been really interesting because there are things that we all do, one that we might not be aware of, especially if you don't live with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
once you live with other people, then you're aware that you do things differently from how other people do things.
Yeah.
So that has just been interesting. And even like I'm still working on my routines and like really trying to figure out what I need that to look like. That's why this morning was so with that weed whacking. Like was like so disruptive because I had planned out my routine. I'm like, I'm gonna
There
have
was a
my peanut
plan.
butter jelly
Yeah.
sandwich. Like I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna calmly eat while we getting ready to prep, and like everything will be good to go. And then it was crazy. Um, but I'm figuring out how stuff like that is necessary for me to be able to function at my best capacity. Is I need to
Yes.
have like routines in place and all that kind of stuff. So stuff like that, or to like being consciously aware of like I don't want to walk on a bare floor with my bare feet. Like I just don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that
Right.
regardless of whether it's clean or not. It doesn't, I don't want to
Correct.
put my bare
That
feet on this
feeling
tile
does
floor.
not.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. Ah! um so like just accepting stuff like that and naming it and being all right with
Mhm.
it and not feeling like it's something that I have to hide or like
Mhm.
coach myself through how to do it normally. um so that's been really interesting is figuring that out. And then also it's been interesting because um we finished Discover Your Destiny in what, the end of May, or maybe it
May.
was the first
I
week
got
in
my
June.
certificate. I'm official.
So since that time, I'm conscious, but also not necessarily conscious at the time. I'm conscious that I
Mhm.
am using energy during that time,
Mm.
but I'm not necessarily conscious of how much energy I am using during those times. So
Mhm.
I like to liken it. I think about myself like a Care Bear a lot of
Okay.
times, and it's the
Mine
Care
would have a
Bear
little wine
stare.
bottle on it. Mhm.
Your Care Bear would have a wine bottle on it.
Yeah, a
What
little wine
color would you
glass on his
be?
tummy.
You'd
Ooh,
be
a deep blue.
a deep
Deep blue.
blue with a wine
Mhm.
glass,
Yes.
like red wine or white wine.
I'm thinking red. I think red.
Okay, cute,
Mhm. Yeah.
cute. Yeah, I
I
think I
think
would totally be a yellow Care Bear with a sunflower
a
on just
sunflower. I could see that.
right.
Care
So
Bear
anyway,
stare. Okay, sorry.
exactly.
Go ahead.
So I envision that that is what happens during Discover Your Destiny, that I'm doing the
Mm.
Care Bear stare and I'm directing all my energy over into that situation, into the people, like all of the things, right? And then also after that, exhausted,
Right, 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 right. I
right?
imagine.
So in this time, I'm really figuring out like how much energy I had expended and
Mm.
also being able to be a lot more intentional about creating opportunity to not have to wait to restore, but to be able to
Mm.
restore during
In
the
the yeah.
situation. And of course, remember during that time, there was the additional energy that was being directed towards dealing with the construction.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it was a lot, of
Yeah.
really just directing all the stuff. And like any good superhero, after you've done all of that, you got to go into hiding for a little while and
Correct.
like
Correct.
not have to talk and be and like, well, I just need to go
Yeah.
be with my plants. The Hulk goes into the lab and like people be like, hey, I did the good work now. Hush. Let me,
I need a minute. I'll be back.
so that is what it feels like. That is what it feels like
Mm.
is I'm in that process right now of restoring and just kind of like trying to figure out what this next iteration looks like. Because I am going to
Mm.
do a Discover Your Destiny in the fall, starting in August,
Nice.
because um, you remember how when I had was asking y'all like what your role is and all of this?
Uh-huh.
I, I need y'all to be getting because we need to know and understand what our role is because
See?
shit's wild. I don't know if anybody's told you, but shit's wild out here. So we
That's
need
what
to
I
get
heard.
aligned to what our purpose is and make sure that we are understanding and hearing directly from God, and whether God is sending ladybugs or whether God is sending hummingbirds or whatever. Like I need you tapped
Whatever the
in.
message is, correct. So you see it.
I need you tapped in, right?
So it's
So
time to move.
correct. So, in that of knowing that that's coming up, it's also
Hmm.
helping me to be much more intentional about not just the replenishment routine, but also the preparation routine
Correct.
for what it looks like to go through these cycles
Yeah.
of preparing people and helping people to show up for themselves. So I've been doing a lot of that, and also been doing a lot of cooking.
Nice.
Girl, I made some fried green tomatoes last night.
Oh.
Girl,
Eh,
so good. You hear me?
really?
And I
Ah.
only made one because it was new, like this a new
Uh-huh.
recipe. So
Gotcha,
I was
gotcha.
like, let me see, because I don't know what the what they call it, the dredge process and all
Oh
of
yeah,
that's
yeah.
gonna look like.
Hmm.
And um you're
I
supposed to, I
don't
didn't
like a
know this.
dredge.
Huh?
Mm. I don't like it's
Would you
the
rather it be?
oh no, I mean I know it's necessary for it to do it, but the thought of like, oh, you put it in the flour, cool, then you put it in like the egg wash, that texture
Yeah.
from the flour to the egg wash back to the flour, like I would
like
spend
it on
most
your
of the time.
fingers.
I don't wanna. I
So
don't wanna.
well, I had my utensils, right? So I had my spoon in the flour bowl. I had I think I had a fork in the egg bowl because I wanted to
Mm,
be able to lift it, because I'm not trying to
yeah.
do a whole lot of touching and stuff. And then I did panko breadcrumbs and
Mhm.
cornmeal. So that's what it looked like.
Mm.
I only made one. So the one
Okay.
tomato had maybe like five slices, and then like I
Uh
had
huh.
sliced up the top. So I also, because that
Oh,
was my
okay.
test pieces, that's
Right.
what I'm
Right.
going
Right.
with.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so anyway, so maybe I had to do that like 6 times, maybe
Mhm.
that process. I think I rinsed my hands twice. But I
Gotcha.
definitely was like, okay, we're not gonna be able to do we can, and it was literally like just these two fingers because the rest of them I'm using the fork and
Right.
stuff or whatever.
Right.
But it was worth it. It was really good.
Yeah.
Like I really,
Okay.
really, really enjoyed it. So I did that. I had fish tacos last night because I had made some pico de
Yum.
gallo because I can make it in my sleep now. So
Of
I had
course. Of
made some
course.
pico de gallo and I needed to use it. So then I was like, oh, let me
Ah.
make me some fish.
Yeah.
Some fish tacos. I made shrimp and vegetable teriyaki.
Yum.
And what else did I make the other day? A lot of French toast.
Oh, okay.
I'm on that right now. We're not so
I
much
love
on
that.
pancakes right now.
On
We're
pan, you
more
off the
so,
pancakes.
yeah. So we're more
There's no Aunt
so
Jemima
on.
here, so I'm
Oh,
trying to figure
really?
that out. They have Hungry Jack
Bah,
pancake
bah.
mix, and then no American brand syrup. So it was some maple syrup that I tried. It's very very thick, but it's good. It's good.
Okay. And see, I want to figure out how to make my own of those things.
Maple
Like I feel
syrup.
like not necessarily maple syrup, but whatever.
I was like, girl, you going to tap a tree? Like, please record that, cause what?
Listen, don't put nothing past me, baby, because once
That's
I
what
get it
I'm
up and running,
saying.
I'm gonna have
I
look,
know
I want to
it.
have me a aviary with
Yes,
bees
Lord.
where we collecting fresh honey. Okay, I want to
Child.
have the things.
The
All
way
right,
my mama and Bianca are going through this, honey, I might need my own beehive, and you know I don't do
child.
bees. No, I don't do bees. Woo.
Yes, child. But yeah, so I think I wanna start like crafting what my own like French toast topping or pancake
Mm,
topping might be.
gotcha.
So that I don't have to be dependent on Aunt Jemima's syrup because
Right.
every time I pick it up, on do they do this in Peru where they have on the product excessive sugar, excessive whatever?
Mm,
So every time I pick it up and I go to pour, I am reminded this has
that this is.
excessive sugar. So then I'm
Yeah.
asking myself, okay, how can I do this in a way that still brings me joy in whatever
Right.
it is? Because I know it's that particular flavor that I'm used to, but I can replace that with something else.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been kind of like experimenting and trying to figure out how I can utilize the access that I have to fresh fruits and vegetables here, and then how
Hmm.
can I use that to create something that I can eat that I like.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's kind of been the main thing. I'm looking around because I'm like, girl, what other
Where's
products we got?
Lucy? Where
Girl,
Lucy at?
Lucy been in her feelings, child, because I had to make it
She must have
clear
saw
that
the
she
show.
wasn't coming in this house. And so, but she
Oh.
came around here yesterday and I went out and spoke to her for a second. She didn't want to look at me for a long time. And I said, girl, that's fine. You could be in your feelings. Also, you're not coming in this house. So, like, I don't know what more you think that you need to
Lucy
do.
said, I'm trying to love you, girl. Let me love you.
Child, I can't take that chaotic love. I need very like structured. Mm-mm. Ma'am, I need you to listen. When I say come here and sit down, I need those things to happen. Okay. I need that in my pets. I need that in children. Hey, I'm not doing all this. Relax. Somebody get some
Oh my
structure.
god.
So yeah, Lucy, she upstairs for the most part. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Gabrielle say if you happen to like molasses, try miel de chancaca.
Chankaka. Mm,
Okay, I'm gonna have to
okay.
look that up. Thank you.
All right.
Um, for
Because
the
that's like cane syrup. Like
and that's what you know
so
what it takes me back to Steams.
correct. With the
Remember the
grill, that
Steams?
was the original
Do
grilled
you
cheese.
remember the card game? What was it called?
To making groceries.
Making groceries.
I was like, I know exactly
Oh,
what you're talking
that used
about.
to be my favoriteest card game ever.
Making
So we're from New
groceries.
Orleans, y'all, in case y'all didn't know that. But there was this card game when we were little, and it was like a matching game, right? Wasn't it like a
Yeah,
goldfish type of
like
situation?
a go fish kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, and I remember the steamed syrup and the camellia red beans and probably some
Yep.
blue plate
Some blue
mayonnaise.
plate. Oh yes.
Oh man, that was the
Making
bestest.
groceries.
I might
Or
have to
was it
look
like
this.
old maid? It was something. It
What's
was
the
like a
difference?
old. I'm trying to remember.
What's the
Was
difference in
old
the
maid
rules
like go
between Old Maid
fish?
and Go Fish?
That's what I was just asking.
Child,
Hmm.
here we go on the internet, girl. You ain't about to
And
have
she
my
said to the interwebs.
what
but
is the difference?
but yeah, that was the original for the grilled cheese. It was grilled cheese and steamed, which is wild.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, yeah, that was the
Yeah.
original.
Okay, let's see. The main difference between Old Maid and Go Fish. Girl, I've been saying goldfish, I think, all this time. I don't know that I know
Have
that
you
it was.
really?
I don't know. But I know a minute ago that's what I said in my head. Okay, in Old Maid, the goal is to avoid being left with a single Old Maid. While in Go Fish, the goal is to collect the most pairs of
The
cards.
matches.
Yeah, I think it was more Go Fish because there wasn't like a card
Okay.
that you couldn't have.
You didn't want.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
know
maybe
what
it
I
was
was
go fish.
thinking about the other day, girl? I was watching The Shy. So I'm catching up
I
because the
still have
other
not
thing I've been
seen
doing is
that.
watching TV, girl. And so we got to get into this in a second. Okay, y'all. Also, we
Yes,
know that we gonna be here to the hour.
it's
Okay.
over. It's
Correct.
over.
So just know, because
We normally like 1.5, but sometimes
but it's
it's
been
2 hours.
2 weeks that feels like 6 months. Okay. But listen, so I was watching, I'm catching up on my programs. Okay.
Here's the
And
program.
The Shy is one that I be having in rotation. So it had just come back out the new season. So I finally was able to access and I started watching it. They had a whole episode dedicated to one of the cast members learning how to play spades.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
listening to him break it down, and I was thinking to myself, how do I know this? Like how because I don't remember
Oh,
them being
learning.
our family. I don't
Right.
remember them necessarily breaking down. They had to at some point though, like being like there are 13 cards for and I don't
Four
know if we learned
suits.
that through playing
I think we
battle or
probably,
war or speed. Like I don't know if we got those concepts there, but even like knowing how to take score, I know they would tell us how to take score that because we
yeah.
used to do the bidding with sandbags and overages and
Right.
underages and all that. So I know that was a job we had to do. But
Mm-hmm.
how did or maybe it was from us hearing them talk about club's
You
leg or
renege.
don't
Right.
talk across the board. Like how do you remember how we learned?
Learning the actual rules? No. Because I feel like, I don't know that they did a lot of instruction. I feel like if any instruction, I probably got playing with other people, like watching other
Outside our
people teach
family?
other people. Yeah. Like, because we played spades at McMain all day. Like,
Oh, you
it was,
had
it was,
extracurricular spades
an
opportunities.
epidemic. We had
I
a
think I
teacher,
was only
Dr.
playing with the family.
Oh no, no, no. It was definitely at school. And then because we had a
Oh.
biology teacher, Dr. Rosenia, rest in peace. He was amazing. And hilarious and crazy, all those things. And inappropriate, possibly. So, but
I'm glad you
he
made it out,
was,
sis. Shit.
yeah, I mean, he's not like that, but it was an interesting. Yeah, I went to school in the '90s. I graduated in '97, y'all. So it was a different time. So he would glue decks of cards like together, like on brick, and then glue them to the floor outside of his classroom. because we played cards so much that people would
That
stop and
y'all
try to
would
pick
think
up,
that it was a deck of cards, so he was
like, oh,
cracking
a deck of
jokes
cards,
just
I
for
need those.
laughing.
And he would just watch people try to pick this deck of
Gotcha.
cards up. Like, and he
Got
would leave his door
him.
open in the middle of class. He would bust out laughing. Like, he was a very interesting man. I love Dr. Rosenio, though. I could tell you lots of stories about him. But he would glue cards out. And then so much so, like, in Spades Club, like, you would go into the cafeteria. There were always people, like, groups of people playing spades. And so
Uh-huh.
I think rule wise, I probably learned it more in that than in
Okay.
school, like
So
on the job training.
Xavier said it's either you got it or you didn't. I've been shamed my whole life. I'm about to come back to that in a
Oh,
second. And Geraldine said like on the job training. Yeah, that's what I feel
yeah.
like it
Because I don't
was.
think family wise ever was like, okay, this is how you play. I think we watched them play. They probably taught us how to take score. I don't think they played with sandbags because I didn't know what a bag was.
They
Like,
definitely played.
as
Now,
part of,
Yalia, she could tell us in the chat. Did because I feel like I learned how to with sandbags, blind six, like all of that. Like we was doing the intricacies of the score.
mm,
I know
I
maybe
feel
you was
like
gone
I
with that. I
knew
don't
that
know.
if you didn't bid it, that you got that extra point, but it wasn't as much as you could. But that as far as a penalty of like, oh, if you get so many bags that like you go back, we didn't play that.
Okay,
Well, I didn't
I
remember
agree
them
with that.
playing
I
that.
agree with that.
Like
I
that
agree with
part
that
I
statement.
learned later in life. My mama
Okay,
never
and I
heard of
don't know.
sandbagging. Yeah.
Okay,
but
interesting. Okay,
so like that stuff I think I got after home. So
got you.
who knows where it comes from? I know we started with like gin, pity pat, war. What was the game with powder? It was
I don't remember.
like
I remember
you
sticking maybe a thumb in powder and doing something like this or something at
yeah, it was
some
like
point. I
however
don't
many
recall.
cards you had left and you had that many like swipes of powder on your face.
I don't know.
Anybody
Now
remember
I
that?
know your mama taught me how to play gin rummy.
Gin rummy
And then we would play spades and war a battle or whatever it's called.
and
And
speed.
then
Smut. Thank you, Ma. Good job.
smut. Okay.
I used to like
Okay.
smut.
Okay. And speed. I used to like
Speed.
speed.
I
That
love
was
speed.
fun. But
Yes.
anyway, so I want to come back to Xavier's comment because this is what I
Yes.
was finna say. We got to teach people how to play spades, y'all. We cannot just keep shaming people if they
Shaming
don't
them.
know and they haven't had the opportunity to learn how to play the game.
Right.
Now that's not right. Okay. So
Well,
I
I've
feel
seen some
like
experiences where they're like, okay, come out and it's like a spade experience. Like,
to
we're going to teach
learn.
you to learn. Like, to learn. Like, the object of the
Okay.
game is to teach you the game and then play
Yeah, because
instead
this is
of
a
like a
family
spades
recipe,
tournament.
y'all. Like that's and how they gonna learn the family recipe unless we actually teach them the family recipe. Like
Correct.
we got to, and this is the other thing is we got to do better with our instruction. Okay, now this is the educator in
Well,
me talking
now
now, and
I'm
y'all gonna
like,
have to
well,
receive it.
now
Y'all gonna have to
if
receive
you
it.
have three apples, Johnny has three apples. I'm gonna just keep repeating it louder and louder until you get it.
Uh
I'm
uh
just playing. That is not how I teach, but that it might have been how I was taught. I'm not shaming nobody.
Y'all got to do better with how y'all instructing people. Hey, Touche. Y'all got to do better with how y'all instructing people on how to play the space because this is the thing. In the episode of The Shy, when they were talking about, he was getting ready, he had gotten invited to go to a thing. So then he was asking his daddy and his brother, and he was like, "Y'all know how to play?" So then they was like record scratch, cut everything. We got to teach them because you got to uphold the family name, you know. So the whole time, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't know that we got explicit instruction, but the way like he had broke out the whiteboard and everything and was like, these are
Yes,
the
it
things that you
is.
need to know. And that's how I
Wow.
feel like we have to like we got to help the people, y'all. We can't just be screaming and being like, hey, lower the stakes. Lower the stakes so that they can learn and be a
Right.
part of the situation.
Of
Okay.
this experience.
I
Yes.
just want to advocate. on behalf of the folks that have not had a safe space to be able to learn how to play space. Because I was even like, is there a way for us to do it virtually? Like, can I help the
Oh
people
yeah,
know
probably.
how to? Because relax, everybody relax. Okay, relax. Because I had stopped playing spades like in my mid 20s. I was like, y'all ain't finna be driving my damn blood pressure up behind them goddamn cards. I don't
Oh, I'm gonna sit
care.
there. I'm gonna sit there and talk trash with you. I'm so mad. In Colombia, they often have Well, recently they've had multiple spades tournaments,
Uh-huh.
and for whatever reason, I didn't make it to them. And actually, this morning, um, Herschel was like, "Hey, we're having a spades tournament in July. If you're around," and I'm like, "I'm not there anymore." He's
Child.
like, "Oh." So yeah, they
I know
frequently
how to
have them
play,
there.
but I'm not doing all of that. Relax. Okay. Put
They
me
have
at
an
the
Uno
kids table.
table. I'm
And
gonna
and
say they have an Uno.
and I'm fine with that too. Cause I
There
now
you
I
go. They're
talk
like,
some
here,
shit
you
and
can
I
play
be
Uno or
smacking
Phase
ass.
10. I enjoy a good
Now
Phase 10.
I
That's
believe your
awesome.
mama taught me how to do phase 10 as well. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, yeah.
My mama was a card. She would
Oh,
do,
I
like, we would
believe
play
it.
Uno hours, her and I.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that vividly. Like, playing Uno, like, going through playing Gin,
Yeah.
War.
I
Yeah.
remember.
She
I
taught me,
remember.
Nanny taught me all the solitaire stuff.
I think I only know one solitaire.
Like the pyramid one. There's like a spider one. Then like the original, and you play with one card or three cards. She's like, okay.
Oh, the what you flip over. You either flip over
Yeah,
one
if
or
you
you
flip
flip
over
over
one or
three.
you do three.
I
Hmm.
feel like I got that instruction. I don't know about them other ones. I have to go back
Oh,
into the
she's
Rolodex
like, I don't know
and
what you're talking about.
yeah, I don't know about that. But I wanted to tell you. So, okay, how much time we got left? We got about 18 minutes. So I want to do two
Yes,
things. I want to talk
yes,
about straw right quick
yes.
because I did and sinners. I've seen both of them, so
And
I'm
sinners,
curious
yeah.
about your thoughts. And then also I want to make sure we do the asking auntie.
The asking
Okay.
auntie, yes.
Correct. All right. So Straw is I just watched Straw last night because I saw you put it
Okay,
on the thing and I had been
yes.
avoiding it kind of because I want to be intentional about how I allocate my emotional energy.
Uh huh.
So I have been seeing mixed reviews and I was just kind of like, I don't know when I'm gonna have capacity. Then I saw it and I was like, okay, let me try to have capacity right now. So yeah, so that's just how I got to Straw. Now I will say I did cry
Uh huh.
and I also felt like I was watching, I'd be looking at things on a systems level. So
Yes.
then I was just
Right.
like, this is what the fuck I be talking about. Like type of thing. I felt like Taraji did a really, 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 really good job with her acting. The story at times I had to like just focus and stay because it kind of at times was
Yeah.
just like, okay,
Right.
now
You ain't
relax.
have to do that
Okay.
now. Yeah.
But like we just gonna keep escalating and the police
Right.
officer and it was just a lot. So I'm curious, what your thoughts were about it.
So me and Tyler Perry, first off, I tend to avoid anything he creates,
Really?
quite honestly.
Okay.
Like just off top. So I had zero intention to watch Straw.
So what?
So I think at some point one day Bianca was like, "Oh, let's watch Straw." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like it would have never been anything. I had no idea other than a lot of stuff was happening, and then she reached a breaking point, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, I'm good on that." And so, but I was like, I Tyler Perry, I just. Mm. But I will say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Um, there was some stuff in it, obviously, where you're just kind of like, okay, that's that's wild. But all right, sure. Will in suspension of disbelief. I'm gonna go with it. Um, but it definitely highlighted just how many ways women are often or caregivers, but are often left to fend for themselves, and it's just like all the different layers of it, of just discovering that. I hope y'all have seen it by now.
I
I
know.
don't
I'm
want
like,
to.
we trying to be real, like,
Yeah, I'm like,
particular as
I'm
to so
vague
we're
because
not
I don't know
spoiling things.
if everyone has seen
So
this,
maybe
because
we'll
I know
just say
I waited.
spoiler alerts. If
Spoiler
you
alert,
haven't
if you
seen
haven't
it, you may
seen
want to
it,
mute for a little
come
while.
back in about 15 minutes. But that ought to get you through straw and sinners because there will be spoilers. So of realizing that the baby was dead, because I remember when she got out the car when we thought the baby was still alive, and she got out the car
Damn, you came out the
and
gate swinging with the fools, but she was like, "We're done, y'all gone." Spoiler. Go ahead.
I mean, we said that, right? I hope y'all was
You did. Go ahead, girl.
listening. I told you.
Oh Lord Jesus, she ain't warm
So
up for nothing, y'all. She was like the baby
we did. I
dead.
did a whole warm up. Okay, I don't want to spoil this,
I thought you
but this
was
is
gonna
where.
do like little spoilers
Oh,
along the way. You was like the baby dead. Okay.
we gotta get to
We
asking Auntie. We gotta get to it. We got a plan. So when she got out the car, and I was wondering why the teacher looked at her like that. Like, so, like, why are you here? But I was attributing it to the teacher maybe thought she was going to go off because they were making fun of the baby over the lunch money. And so I thought maybe the teacher was like guarded, like, oh, this mom about to come and pop off. And she didn't. She just like waved and kept it cute and left. But we realized that wasn't why she was looking at it like that. But my question, like having that revealed at the end, was like, who left her alone after the death of her baby? You know what I mean? Like, if she died last night, and I'm not saying your mom has to stay with you, but
That's
somebody
where I
should
had
be
got the
with you.
confusion though in real life because and I don't know that I had connected the dots until just now, actually, when you said that. Because I remember hearing her saying she died last night, and I was like, wait, we've only been in one day. Like, what are we talking about right now? But to your point, why was she by herself? Like, just no support after this? Because
None.
even after in the movie where they had taken her, and
Uh-huh.
then I'm like, and she's
That
supposed to
they
go
left her
back
in
to
the
work.
hallway. Right. I was like, and they just left her in the hallway by herself? Because in that moment, I was like, y'all just like, all right, yeah, we took your child, goodbye.
Right.
But to your point, in the when it first happened and she said she died, I thought she meant while you've been robbing this bank,
Correct.
she
Me
died.
too. Me too.
But then when she said last night, that's when it took me to yours. And then it went through, the scenes of she was never there through everything we saw. And so it was like, it's somebody, I think in like a recap or something, said that Sinbad was like her daughter was, like mentioned the daughter in the past tense, and was like,
Mm.
but we didn't know. And
Mm-hmm.
also why the landlord didn't care about the
The
music
medicine.
because there wasn't the music or the medicine because the daughter
Oh,
wasn't
because
there
she wasn't
anymore.
there.
Right. But
Interesting.
I don't know. So that
Hmm.
was kind of interesting in and of itself. And then of course the Tessa, what's the girl's name? Tessa. The Tessa hate was definitely warranted because I was like, ma'am,
Would you shut up and
read
sit down?
read the room. Like, are we serious right now? Like, what
You're
are you
doing
doing?
the most. The
All of it.
most.
All of it. And Gaines, Mr. Gaines deserved every bullet he got, child. I was like, why are you so hot right now? Like, I came to work. I'm here. Like, if you mad at the people that's not here, then I need you to save that energy for them. Thank you very much. 'Cause who are you talking to?
Also, now in hindsight, knowing that her daughter died last night, you don't have no empathy, huh? You just
No
ain't got
compassion.
none.
There's always something with you. So I don't know, because I'm imagining she also hadn't told him, because she
Mm,
wasn't in her mind that she came to work. So he didn't know. He's
that's
just thinking,
fair.
she probably had called out because there was a seizure before, or there was some
Mm.
kind of medical issue before, and he was just like, there's always something up with you.
So we probably not gonna get to centers because I want to ask you this, and we also still have to do a ask and answer real
Yes.
quick. But this is what I'm curious about as in your positions, for instance, that you had when you were working in retail,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the title was. Operations manager or
Yeah,
what you
operations
okay.
manager.
But
Hmm.
so that is over people, right?
Yeah,
And so how did you balance someone who is having real life happening? Because as a business owner or business, he wasn't the owner, he was the damn manager, but as the manager, as the person who's responsible for the business
right.
being able
For
to
the
be
day to day.
staffed appropriately,
Right.
how did you balance people's real life in things that are happening, and then we have the needs of a business? Because I on one hand, I'm trying to empathize. On one hand, I'm
Yes.
empathizing with, we got a store full of people, it's the first of the month, shit's crazy, I need you to get on the register. What the hell you mean you got to go again? You just had to go last week and last week, the week before that, and the
Right.
girl. But
Right.
also her babysit, and like
Right. The
what you
school
wanting her
call.
to do.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So how did you find yourself balancing that?
I mean, I am a I am a person first, and I typically have I've always honored that these are people that are working here. These
Mm-hmm.
are our internal customers, if you will, and their experience matters just as much as the customer
Our
outside. And
internal
so,
customers, I like that.
and so it's like I always did that. And so if there was a point where it truly was disruptive, like then that was the conversation that was had. Like, hey, I understand. Like, what can we do with your
Figure out a way.
availability so that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not scheduling you during
Mm-hmm.
these times, or that there's specific days that you have some support, that they know they're the person that's answering this call if
Mm-hmm.
that comes in
Mm-hmm.
on this
Mm-hmm.
day. Like just trying to find those solutions so it's not like emergencies in the moment. Even with like COVID, when people were, shit was going down, but it was like I also had to empathize. I'm like, well, these people have kids. Like,
Yeah.
where do you want them to send their children? Like, if I had children, I'm not just sending my child somewhere not knowing what the safety protocols are. Like, if there's no daycare, then they have to be home. So
Right.
I don't know what you want them to do. So in some of those cases, I just kind of took the bullets where
Mm.
where they were and was like, I'm not. It makes no sense. And then if there were actual needs where it's like, hey, this is disruptive, having the honest conversation of like, look, like I may have to bring someone in that is able to work during these times. And if I can accommodate your availability at that time, I will.
Mm-hmm.
But that it was never, you need to be here. I don't care. Because what's the quality that you're going to get from that person while they're there?
Right.
So
Right.
just kind of measuring it
Yeah,
that
because their brain is not even there. I definitely was like, so she's supposed to go back to work, huh?
way,
Just like
and
that. Just
just because that's the worst thing. Because when you're going through that, like somebody bitching about the cost of eggs will be the last straw.
this is why I quit Walgreens.
Yeah.
Because I was so tired of getting cussed out behind big roll of toilet paper and canned salmon. Girl, them old white folk used to be coming up in there, and I'm like, you can get a rain check, you can go to another side. I don't know what you want me to do, ma'am. The truck ain't here. It ain't
Right.
on the
I don't
shelf.
have
What
it.
do you want?
I don't have it.
Would
And
you
I
like a
didn't
rain check?
sit
I don't
that.
want to. Okay, do you want to go to the store down the corner around the street? Cause
Right. Because
like,
they got it. I don't have it. I ain't got it. I'm sorry. I, I just don't.
girl,
Yeah.
I got to the point. I said, if I got to go through one more summer with these damn white people talking to me crazy behind this shit, I'm
Retail
going
is
to the
not for
south.
the weak.
Like, I'm not
Retail is
doing this.
not for the weak. It's wild. People are
Woo!
wild.
Sheesh. Um, yeah. So I feel like when you said with Tyler Perry, I'm kind of touch and go with his works of
Hmm.
art, but this is what I do want to say about what I appreciate about Tyler Perry is that despite the despite some people's um inability to create space for the particular works of art that he creates, and whether that is an ability, I don't have capacity, I just don't want to, I don't feel like it, I don't like it, I don't want to hear about that story, whatever the reason is, I do think it is important to document these stories because
Hmm.
these are real stories that are happening. The thing that was making me feel emotional about it is because I remember how many of my parents would come into the schools having life going on and their child is not making the best choices because they're a child,
Hmm.
and the parents are just like, I don't know what you want me to do. Okay, I don't know. I
Right.
don't know what you want me to do. And meanwhile, I'm like, okay, but this is your kid though. And also they're like,
Right.
I gotta go to work. Or even there be times where it's like, if your child in here raising hell and acting damn fool the whole time, then we gonna be calling you on your job. Right. Cause they
Right.
acting a fool on mine. But also everybody doesn't have the ability to leave their job and like all of that.
Correct.
So it there were times that we did things systematically that were just completely inhumane
Mm.
for understanding what's happening on the receiving end of things.
Correct.
The
Yeah.
other part of it was the children and
Yeah.
the kids. So before we knew what was going on with the daughter, I'm thinking to myself, not this baby got a whole new level of trauma because now she's homeless. Her stuff is out on the curb in the rain. And like,
Yeah.
how does that impact the child? Like, but also I understand
Correct.
as the landlord that you need your money. I understand that. I get
Right.
it. I
Right.
get it. And also,
Yeah.
these are people. So, like, how do we
Correct.
find the balance to honor
What's the middle
everybody's needs and
ground?
humanity in this? So, it really was making me kind of like think about that and just really try to be figure out how I can be more empathetic in people's real lives. Because I can honestly tell myself, them people standing in line for bank, they all had lives. They all had their
Yeah.
own things that were going on, so everybody's in their own movie, and
Right.
we don't realize that, every it because they may not be talking about it, but everybody's in their own movie, and that movie could very much look like that. So
Yeah.
how can I, even when the Sherry Shepherd's character, when she started to see the humanity in this
Hmm.
lady that's standing in front of her and saying, I'm gonna stand with you and I'm gonna walk beside you and like all of that. This is a person. Do y'all hear the kind of day
Correct.
this lady had? And you think
Yeah.
she just supposed to? And the police officer ran her off the road and took her
And
car and
said,
like,
I'm gonna do everything I can to make this as painful for you. I'm gonna kill you, like make it hurt, you know,
and what
to
is
know
she
you're
supposed
not
like?
protected in
Correct,
any way, shape, or
correct,
form at
correct.
any step along this process is anyone trying to do anything
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
And it's like, Jesus,
yeah,
like have something, and it takes $0 to be kind.
yeah.
And that it happens along on so many levels, multiple times a day. It may not be something obviously as, dramatic as a bank robbery, but you never know, making those exceptions for people or finding ways to work
Correct.
around these processes is like
Because she
it
wasn't
can
even
make a
trying to rob the
difference.
bank. I just need you to
She
cash
just
my
wanted
check. I
her
just need
money,
my $521.
my money.
Can you just
That's
give
it. I
me?
just need my money
Because my baby got to eat. I need to get this $40 to the school. I got to go back to work. Within it, how the fuck you gonna tell me be back in 30 minutes? What are you
in
talking
30
about?
minutes.
What are you talking about right now? I gotta go
But
down
when
to
you
the
think about
schoolhouse,
Child, when you think about it, most people's lunches are 30 minutes.
which
It's
is
everybody's not
wild.
getting hours. Yeah.
That's
Right.
true. That's true.
So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot. So,
yeah.
anyway, y'all, we gonna have to run, and so we're gonna I'll keep this asking auntie for next time.
Okay.
So I lied, okay? If y'all looking at the top of this and you're like, she said it was gonna be an asking auntie, ain't, because we ain't got no more time. But it will be an asking auntie next time. And we can talk about Sinners next time too, because
Yeah.
I did watch that. So, having said that, let's kind of put a pin on all of this
All
and
the things.
wrap this up. Tell the people where they can find you and the things that you have going on and all that.
You can find me at Kawana Bear, KAWANABEAR on Instagram. You can also find me at Visionary Executive Network on Instagram, which is where I help people do the work that they don't like to do. So you get to work on your business, not in it. So we get to discuss what that looks like, help you identify what your purpose is, how you can really focus on that, and then give you some assistance either strategically or actually administratively to getting those things done. You can find me on Cash App at $Kalonda, Kalonda. Feel free to bless a sister. It is my birthday month. Also, happy birthday to Eric if you're watching. I don't know if he is, but today is his birthday. He is the big
Oh,
5-0.
oh,
Hey now.
wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday. And then as always, you can find me right here in the his house. Kim.
Cool beans. So y'all can find me at kimberlandjackson.com. There, just about everything is linked that I do, whether that is Find a Peace Abroad, Discover Your Destiny, Minding My Black Ass Business, all the things are there. Minding My Black Ass Business on all platforms. Also, if you are looking for a safe space to be able to connect, please come to tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. It is the bi weekly healing circle that I host for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal.
Amen.
And just need a safe space to be able to just kind of be for a moment, as well as get some strategies, practical strategies about how to move energy through your body. All right. We will
Uh,
be back, y'all, in 2 weeks.
July
And I
6th.
don't know, because, baby, the way this world is happening,
It
y'all
may be
just,
before.
it may be. We never know. But we're
We'll
scheduled
let
to
you
be
know.
back in 2 weeks, which is July what
Yeah.
now?
6th. July 6th.
July 6th. Okay. So yeah, and that's after Independence Day. So something is definitely gonna be done happen by that time. So just be ready to come with your fingers stretched and ready to talk. And again, remember that anytime that we are on and live, that there's always a live chat. So feel free to go into the live chat. But if you missed this live and you're watching during the replay, no problem.
It's
Okay, just
okay.
leave us a comment. We'll continue to talk to you, ask questions, all of that. Shout out to our new followers and subscribers. And yeah, we'll be back next time, y'all. Bye.
Bye.